The crying started somewhere over the Atlantic. A soft whimper at first, then a full-blown wail that cut through the hum of the engines and rustle of snack wrappers. Passengers sighed, heads turned, and flight attendants exchanged polite but weary glances. And right in the middle of it sat Maya Thompson, 28, a school music teacher from Boston, the kind of person who couldn't ignore a crying child, no matter where she was. Across the aisle, she saw him, a man in his late 30s, exhausted, cradling a little boy who couldn't have been more than 3. His designer suit was wrinkled, his tie undone, and his eyes, deep, distant, broken. The toddler cried harder, tiny fists clutching at the air. The father whispered something, voice trembling with frustration and guilt. Then, the words slipped out of Maya's mouth before she could stop herself. "Would you mind if I try something?" He looked up, startled. Sure. Please." Maya smiled gently, took off her seatbelt, and crouched beside them. She began to hum softly, a melody her mother used to sing when times were hard. A simple tune, but warm, like sunlight on winter glass. "Hush now, little one, the stars are keeping watch. Close your eyes, my darling, the world's not so harsh." The boy's sobs slowed. His breathing evened out. Within minutes he was asleep, head resting on his father's shoulder. The cabin, once tense, grew quiet. A flight attendant passed by, mouthing thank you. Maya smiled faintly and returned to her seat. The man didn't say much then, just a soft, thank you, and a look that held more emotion than words could. Hours later, as the plane descended toward London, he turned to her again. "I'm Daniel," he said quietly. "And that's my son, Oliver." Maya smiled. "He's adorable. You're doing great, by the way." Daniel chuckled dryly. "First solo flight with him. His mom, she passed away last year." Maya's heart ached. "I'm so sorry." He nodded, staring at the sleeping boy. "She used to sing to him. The same way you did. I guess I didn't expect to hear that sound again." Maya's eyes softened. "Sometimes the world gives you back what you miss most, just when you least expect it." They talked quietly until the plane touched down. Nothing romantic, just two souls sharing a quiet understanding, one of loss, the other of compassion. Before disembarking, Daniel handed her a business card. "If you're ever in London, please call. I owe you one, more than you know." Maya glanced at the card and blinked. Daniel Whitmore. CEO, Whitmore Holdings. Her jaw nearly dropped. Whitmore Holdings, one of the biggest private firms in Europe. She had unknowingly soothed the child of a billionaire widower. Weeks passed. Life went on. Maya returned to teaching, to her small apartment, and her modest joys. Then one morning, a thick envelope arrived in the mail. Inside was a letter, handwritten, not typed. "Dear Maya, Oliver hasn't stopped talking about the lady who sang to him. Every night, since that flight, he asks me to sing the airplane song. I tried, and failed miserably. So I found a recording studio, hired a few people, and we made something special. Enclosed is a small token of thanks. You gave us a moment I thought I'd lost forever. Peace. With gratitude. Daniel and Oliver Whitmore." Inside was a check, not small by any means, and a USB drive. Maya hesitated, then plugged it in. The first notes of her lullaby filled the room, her own voice, lifted and woven into a gentle orchestral arrangement. She laughed through tears as Oliver's tiny voice chimed in at the end. "Good night, Daddy, good night, airplane lady." Months later, Maya's school received an anonymous donation. A full music wing, new instruments, soundproof rooms, scholarships for underprivileged kids. A brass plaque by the entrance read, "For those who heal the world with a song." Maya never said a word, but every night, as she looked up at the stars, she whispered that same lullaby, knowing somewhere in London, a little boy was falling asleep to it too. 6 months later. The snow fell softly outside Maya's small Boston apartment. She had just finished another long day of teaching, and the echoes of children's laughter still lingered in her ears. Life was steady, quiet, predictable. But sometimes, in those quiet moments, she thought about that flight. About Oliver's sleepy smile, and Daniel's tired eyes, eyes that held both pain and strength. She'd written a thank you letter after receiving the donation, but never heard back. She didn't expect to. Billionaires probably move through life surrounded by noise, business, meetings, headlines. But that night, as she sipped tea by her window, her phone buzzed with an unfamiliar number. "Hello?" she answered, hesitant. "Maya?" The voice was unmistakable. Gentle, deep, slightly accented from London. "It's Daniel Whitmore." Her breath caught. "Oh. Daniel. Hi, it's been a while." "I know. I'm sorry to call out of the blue," he said, his voice soft. "But Oliver's been asking about you again. We're in Boston for a few days. He insisted we find